Go on, Fred. How would a medium interpret what a dog is saying to them?
You had to see it to believe it, and it's a medium we all know.
Right.
Very well known.
Right.
Probably the most well known. And they showed it on Harry Hill's. Is it Harry Hill? His show.
Right.
Yeah. They showed it on there, and this dog, and the medium started barking, and he said, "Does anybody recognise this dog?" And somebody did in the audience.
But how would a dog speak to you in such a way that you would understand it?
Well,
This is what I'm trying to say.
But that just says that it's really what people want to believe as well, isn't it? They want to believe that their dog came through, or their grandma, or their cousin, or whatever. It's
you see, I bet that particular medium couldn't tell one specific time that owner had with the dog. I mean, they'd probably go through the, if they had a private reading, it'd be like, I'm getting a ball, and he's throwing a ball, and he seems to want to run after, he's throwing it, and he's dropping it at your feet. Nothing specific like, actually,
hang on, he's just cocked his leg at me.
I remember that there was that TV show which I thought was superb, with Shirley Ghostman.
Oh right, yeah.
Now there was something on there which was a kind of in joke with us, because a certain medium that we were working with came up with the ghost of a unicorn. Yeah, that was a specific place. Now that actually didn't go out on air.
Why not?
There were other things that were better to go out, I think. Yeah. And this Shirley Ghostman recorded their show about a week after that show was recorded, and Shirley Ghostman came in riding a unicorn. And it was great, because all of us, we were texting each other straight away, going, "Have you seen Shirley Ghostman?" They obviously knew. Yeah. And it was just bizarre. But it's easy to take the mickey out, and we are being very negative towards psychics, and there are the few out there that really are
interesting,
think they're real, and they do it. But I was watching a show earlier this week with I think for me is almost a typical psychic. He looked like the typical psychic. A guy called Paul Williams, or his stage name was Paul Duran, Deaaran. The only thing I really got out of the show at first was he can't spell psychic, because his number plate was S1KEC. Anyway, but apparently he duped people out of their money. He took one lady out of she had left him her house, and he threw out all of her elderly tenants after he got the house. Now, she didn't leave this to her family; she left it all to him. And apparently, the will had been written only 4 months after they'd met. That's what it said on the TV show. Now, this Paul Williams guy, he's there's a shot of him, and what got me was it reminded me of 99% of every medium I've met. He's sitting on a couch, he's giving it the usual waffle about the other side, about how spiritual that is, and this poor old lady is sitting next to him, and he says, in fact, I actually wrote down what he actually said. He said, "This is my adopted," he holds her hand, he says, "This is my adopted mother, and very precious to me." And the look on that poor lady's face, when he took his hand away, she clenched her own hands, and her eyes were closed, almost like, "I've been touched by Jesus." It was that kind of spirit, almost a spiritual thing. And this lady was, she became ill and sadly died, but he got her house. Her family didn't. He got her house. Got rid of her lodgers, but the deception didn't stop there. Because he went after one of her lodgers, who he put into a home, who was blind or going blind, and he took this guy called Jerry Rowley was the guy he took for all his money, but he took almost £7,000 out of this man's account, which he had saved for its own burial. Now this is a disabled elderly gentleman, this piece of scum. I'm sorry, that's all it is. I was getting funnily enough, I showed a picture of him first on the TV. He looked very, very similar to another psychic. I went, "Ah!" And I thought they've got him at last, but it was somebody else. But this is he did. So he took one person, then took another, and it was this guy actually. Jerry actually called the police, and it was the first time they were brought in. But he took somebody else for their money. Now, this was somebody he'd known for a long time. I'll shorten this out because it's going on for too long. But Took some, and her husband died. And suddenly he went back to console her, to comfort her, because her husband had died. And he said to her, "You need to look in the you need to look in the grandfather clock. Your husband came to me in a dream and is telling me to look in your grandfather clock. What does that mean?" Typical medium thing with the grandfather clock right in front of him. I don't understand it. I'm getting grandfather clock. What does that mean? Goes to the grandfather clock and strangely picks out a new will out of the grandfather clock, which leaves him half the money. And this poor trusting lady goes to the bank and gives him half the money. When she goes on holiday to get over the loss of her husband, he steals the checkbooks, forges a signature, and basically uses most of the money. It's only when she came back she realised it had gone, that she called the police, and the police kind of cracked down, and they came. I mean, I think it's the lowest and cruelest of crimes what he did. I mean, to take the vulnerable, the elderly, the bereaved, and to take their money as well, pretending that you can talk to their dead partners. But he was taken to Wolverhampton Crown Court. He actually admitted the forgery of the will, admitted the deception for Joyce Hutton and Jerry Rowley. He was given 18 months. 18 months.
Yeah.
But the biggest insult, he served 4.
Yeah, with that, I mean, again, slightly offshoot, but that doesn't surprise me in this day and age, to be honest. But I mean, who were watching these people, though? I know this guy obviously wormed his way in and all this kind of thing. And
well,
did they have relatives, you say?
Yeah, well, the first lady that he got the house from.
Yeah.
She didn't have any children, which is obviously the perfect target.
Well, yeah.
But she had cousins and she had other family. But of course, he's in there, and these people are very good. He's ingratiated himself into her life. And when her family went to the hospital when she was put in the first time, her family turned up and they said, "Oh, don't worry, her son's with her." And it was her other family said she hasn't got any sons. And she said, "Oh yes, she has. It's Paul." And then when he got this guy, apparently her cousin said, "Yeah, what's going on?" He said, "She likes to call me her son. I'm the son she never had." I mean, scum, absolute scum. But we'll continue this after the break because I'm getting upset, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Bye bye.